Hello! This is going to be a What Sold video for the week of October 1st to October 7th. I'm a part-time reseller in the state of Virginia and I sell on a bunch of different platforms. However, this week I only sold on Etsy and eBay. So I'm going to scoot over here and share with y'all my only Etsy sale for this week, and it is the beautiful top that you see here, the maroon, black, and brown one from the 70s that I wore in my estate sale haul video, and I'm so glad that it sold. I kind of figured it would be one of the ones to sell first, one because I wore it in a video, and two because it is very on trend right now as far as vintage pieces go. So it sold for $32.16, so it's $25 asking price, and then $5 something for shipping and then taxes. So very nice profit. Super happy that this went off to a new home, and I hope that they very much enjoy it. Speaking of pieces from that vintage estate sale that are on my Etsy shop, this is another piece. Part of the reason why I bought all of the pieces I did at that estate sale is because of the fact that I could wear them, which is always a nice bonus, you know, having a rotating reselling closet. This is a vintage 80s piece with a pussy bow. Yes, that is what this is called when there is a tie front in the top area neckline. That is what this is called. Now you know that. But this is very soft and very comfortable, but also mildly sheer because it is a very delicate cotton blend blouse. But it's in my Etsy shop if you're interested, and it fits a size women's medium, which is my size. So now I'm going to share with y'all my eBay sales. So I sold this new with tags Grand Slam golf shirt. I figured my new with tags that I picked up from that estate sale, from the Air Force retirees estate sale, that stuff would probably sell steadily throughout the year, and then most of it would finish going during Christmas. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be right there. And it sold for my full asking price of $19.87 free shipping. And again, I paid less than $1 for that shirt. I then sold this vintage 70s Yves Saint Laurent. Yves. Whatever. YSL. I sold this tie. I paid $1 for this. I can't remember if I paid for it at an estate sale or if I paid for this at Mississippi. Either way, I paid like just a little bit over $1 for it. And it's one of those fat wide ties, which is popular during this time period, and it sold for $7 and the buyer paid for shipping. So I'm very happy about that. Again, I love selling ties because you can't break them. They're super lightweight. They take up almost no space. They're lovely. I then sold these women's, like these are brand new without box, size 9 shoes. I picked these up a long time ago, and I thought that they would sell pretty quick because they were brand new and they were an interesting style. They did sell when it got closer to being cold and like booties got back in season, but I've had this for almost a year. It sold for $19.87 and the buyer paid for shipping, so it actually did sell for full price. It just took many months to sell, so I don't know if I'd pick those back up, but maybe, depending on how cheap I get them. I paid $5.50 for these because that's what Goodwill charges for shoes. This FootJoy piece I actually purchased at the Goodwill. I paid $4 for this shirt. It sold within a week, which I was surprised because this did have embroidery on the sleeve, but I priced it accordingly and it sold for $13 and the buyer paid $4.50 for shipping. So I'm very happy that that sold within a week, especially since it had embroidery of some kind of resort on it. It wasn't even a golf resort, it was just a resort. This Theory piece that I picked up at the same time as that FootJoy piece sold for $15 and the buyer paid $5 for shipping. I also was very surprised that this sold so quickly, but it's a good size, a size large. I paid $4 for this at that same Goodwill, and it sold within a week of listing it, so very happy about this. This is a vintage Teminite dragonware. So dragonware is just when it is a Moriage style dragon. Moriage means it's embossed. It's a specific type of ceramic glaze embossing that is common in Japanese ceramics. This is beautiful. I paid $2.50 for this at an estate sale and it sold for $7 and the buyer paid $9 for shipping. And I packed that sucker up good, so it should arrive intact. I always double box my stuff because I do want to make sure that these precious and beautiful vintage ceramics make it to their home. I sold this Carhartt piece. Now this did have a little bit of paint. It was just like one small spot in the sleeve, which I would recommend you check sleeves because that's where there's going to be either damage or in this case paint or flaws, just any kind of flaws. But it did sell for my full asking price of $14.87 and the buyer paid $4.50 for shipping. Carhartt is a really strong brand. I had originally thought that this was a vintage piece, but when I looked at the tag that's normally down here at the bottom that gives the fabric content, it said it was from 2009. So not vintage, but still a good piece, and it went off to a new home. So this Lilly Pulitzer piece was a learning experience. That's what we're going to call this. Just like with my last What Sold and the Pendleton pieces, 2.5 years ago when I started reselling or starting to try to resell consistently as a business, I made mistakes that most resellers make when they first start trying to do this, and I listened to reselling YouTube, not realizing that they weren't giving all of the information. So, you know, 2.5 years ago when I was watching a lot of reselling YouTube content, I still am, I heard Pendleton sold really well and I heard Lilly Pulitzer sold really well, not realizing what the pieces were or not really understanding the pieces that they were picking up or why they were selling. So this brown blazer from Lilly Pulitzer is not one of the pieces that sells well for Lilly Pulitzer. Lilly Pulitzer, I do know several of my reselling friends have tons of success, but they have success selling the bright graphic neon printed dresses or their tops, not this brown striped blazer that I finally sold after 2.5 years for $18 free shipping. I broke even on this piece, and I'm so grateful for that, mostly because it was a good lesson to learn that I didn't lose any money on. I just, well, depends on how you look at it. If you look at it, the time wasted listing the item and it taking up space in my inventory to sell, some people would say that that's wasted time, but I think as long as you've learned something from it, it's not a total waste. And I have learned, I've learned from my experience, don't pay up for Lilly Pulitzer, don't pay up for Pendleton, unless it's those select, like, things that are in that category that sell. And I've gotten much better about looking up sell-through. This piece, however, massive win. Massive, massive win. So this was a antique Victorian Strook blanket. So this is a carriage blanket made out of horsehair. I found this for $5 at an estate sale in an attic above a garage. It was nasty, it smelled, and I cleaned it. So I will put a link to the finding video because I feel like that's more interesting than the cleaning video, but the finding video up above. But I knew that this was valuable because it was antique, it was still had beautiful vibrant colors. In the cleaning process I did lose the remaining 2 glass eyes, but it was creepy with or without the eyes. I feel like it's a little less creepy without the eyes. But this sold to a prop company in Louisiana for my full price of $99.87, and they paid $15 for shipping. And so this is going to be on a set somewhere for something, and I'm really happy about it because I saved something from, you know, going in the trash or just not being used, and now it's going to hopefully be seen by lots of people unknowingly in random period pieces. But very happy about this. It's a really, really big win there for me personally, because I love antique things. I especially love things from the Victorian and Edwardian era, so it's very happy for me. This Untuck It shirt, the boy did try to claim this, and it fit him very weird. This was a weird shirt. So this was an Untuck It men's large, and it's a little bit of a boxy fit, which it just fit weird. So he acquiesced in allowing me to sell it instead of keeping it, and I sold it for $16.89, and the buyer paid for shipping. That sold within like a week or 2 of me listing it. And you know, Untuck It used to command high prices. I'm sure there are plenty of people that can still get those higher prices. I just would rather just get the money and be done with it. So I still 3x'd my money. And this went off to a new home. And I found that, I think in Mississippi. Yeah, I found that in Mississippi when he was taking a nap. in the truck. That's where I found that. Yeah. All right. So I found it at a thrift store somewhere on our Texas trip. This piece is a flax open front cardigan in a petite size. It just says petite, one size fits all. This actually fit me really well, and I am not a petite lady. So I guess it just depends on how you want to wear it. But Flax is also a linen login look brand, so everything is just a little bit oversized. I sold this for $20 on offer, and the buyer paid $5.50 for shipping. I do know that, again, people can get more for Flax. I just much rather have the quick sale, 4 times my money, be done with it. This is another piece from the Air Force Retirees House. This is a New with Tags Greg Norman piece. Again, that New with Tag stuff is going as we get closer to gifting season. So it sold for $13 free shipping, and again, I paid less than $1 for it. This is a piece that I did not share with you in any of my videos. Sometimes I do go thrifting in this case, I went to a consignment shop by the boys' house. I paid $5 for this hat. I sold it for $12.87, and the buyer paid for shipping. So I doubled my money in an hour. That's how long this took to sell. Can't beat that. Cannot beat that. And that is the last thing that I have to share with you all. Thank you guys so very much for watching this video and for sharing this reselling journey with me. I would also personally like to thank all 1,545 of my subscribers. This interesting history fact for the year 1,545 is the Henan province of China underwent severe rainfall, like just an exorbitant amount of rainfall during that year, caused a lot of crop failures and famine. Many people from that province decided to flee, but those that decided to stay unfortunately didn't have very much to eat, so they subsisted off of leaves, bark, and also had to resort to cannibalizing those that did not survive. Don't know why I decided to choose a gruesome one, but we are in spooky season, so there you go. Y'all have a wonderful day doing whatever it is you're doing, and until the next video. Bye. Bye. Now let's go over to eBay. We're gonna go over to eBay